Time is relentless in its flow. Regardless of whether you decide to take action or not, it does not stop. It does not wait. It does not compromise. Every second slipping from your hands is a second that will never return. And yet within this stream of inevitability lies a secret. Transformation can occur faster than the blink of an eye. This is a paradox that most people never truly grasp. They are convinced that changes happen linearly, that shifting something ingrained requires weeks, months, or even years of suffering. But the field of quantum physics suggests otherwise. It says that in the very moment of your choice, in that exact breath when you align with an entirely new timeline, it becomes available. And the unsettling question is this: if time will pass anyway, into which reality do you allow it to carry you? We have been conditioned to perceive changes as a mountain to conquer, one exhausting step after another, endlessly uphill. Yet every mountain has a hidden door, a narrow passage that few dare to look at. This door opens not through effort or time, but through resonance. Physics teaches that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until observation collapses them into one form. What if your life is arranged the same way? What if the future that seems to you to require years to create already exists, waiting only for you to collapse it into the now? This is not poetic exaggeration. This is the nature of quantum potential. But here is the twist. Most people never find this door not because it does not exist, but because they are hypnotized by the illusion of time itself. Imagine a pendulum swinging back and forth. If you stare fixedly, it seems slow, predictable, inevitable. But if you stop following the swing and focus on the motionless point in the center, on the axis from which everything originates, you will understand. There is a place of absolute stillness, a timeless point from which any movement is born. Transformation arises not from the swinging, but from this motionless point. The paradox is that changes happen fastest when you enter the timeless. People chase self-help strategies, affirmations, external approval, but none of this touches the axis. The axis is inside, in the exact moment when you decide to stop being carried by the flow and become the observer who shifts the swing himself. It may seem abstract to you, but neuroscience confirms it. The brain is not a rigid machine locked in unchanging patterns. It is plastic, adaptive, and capable of rewiring in moments of deep coherence. Studies show that when emotion, thought, and physiology synchronize, new neural connections form instantly. This means that the very identity you have dragged through the years can dissolve and reform in one heartbeat. The belief that changes require years is not science, but conditioning. And conditioning is just repetition without awareness. In the moment you bring awareness into the illusion, you have a chance to shatter it. But this is not the main reason why transformation can be instantaneous. There is a deeper key, and you will soon see how it unfolds. Imagine a person standing before two paths. One path is long, winding, endless, full of obstacles that seem insurmountable. The other path is almost invisible, hidden in plain sight, but leads straight to the summit. Most people, convinced by past experience and heard stories, automatically choose the long path because they trust difficulties more than ease. They believe that struggle equals progress. But what if this very belief chains them to slow changes? What if the hidden path is available right now, but your mind constantly erases it from perception? Quantum physics has already proven that the observer's expectation determines which reality manifests. If you expect difficulties, you collapse into the long road. If you dare to expect instantaneity, the short path opens. The question is, which reality are you observing into being in this very moment? Here the paradox tightens further, because even knowing this, most people do not act. They consume the idea, nod their heads, and allow another day to pass without changes. Time continues to quietly erode potential until a person wakes up years later, wondering where everything went. But you are here not by accident. The fact that these words are penetrating your consciousness means the field has already conspired to show you the door. The only missing element is whether you will step through it. This decision is not in tomorrow, not in the next month, not in 5 years. It is now, right now. The paradox of time and changes is that the longer you wait, the more you reinforce waiting as your reality. And the faster you decide, the faster you collapse a new world into being. Somewhere deep inside, you already know this. You have experienced moments when everything changed instantly, when a decision, insight, or even one breath overturned the entire trajectory of life. This was not a coincidence. This was quantum law revealing itself to you. But here is the incomplete puzzle. Why do these moments seem rare, almost random, instead of something you can activate at will? The truth is that they are not rare at all. You simply have not learned to stand steadily in the motionless point. This is the missing key. And once you understand how to approach it, changes will cease to be a distant hope and become a present reality. So while time flows, relentless, unstoppable, neutral, ask yourself, will you allow it to carry you into more of the same? Or will you finally step into the paradox, into the door where transformation takes no time because it happens in the now? Keep listening, because the hidden mechanism of this instantaneous shift is about to unfold and shatter everything you thought about changes. People are taught to believe that transformation is slow. Therapists talk about years of unraveling childhood wounds. Self-help gurus preach long morning routines, endless affirmations, or a decade of discipline before real changes are possible. Society fuels this narrative because it benefits from people's slow movement, more consumption, long waiting, self-doubt. But in the quantum model, speed does not matter. Reality does not measure time the way the human mind does. Reality responds to state, not duration. The brain, body, and field do not ask how long you have worked on something. They respond only to coherence. The hidden mechanism of instantaneous shifts lies here. Coherence is the currency of transformation, not time. Imagine a tuning fork. Strike one, place another tune to the same frequency nearby, and the second begins to vibrate instantly. It does not need 10 years of practice to master the vibration. It simply resonates. Your body is no different. When thoughts, emotions, and physiology align into a single frequency, you instantly resonate with a reality that already contains this pattern. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. Spiritual traditions call this embodiment. Physics, resonance. Different languages, but the same truth. The shift is instantaneous when coherence is achieved. Delay exists only in the belief that it is necessary. Think about how memory works. Recalling a traumatic event, the body does not wait days or weeks to relive the stress. The pulse quickens immediately. The stomach clenches. Cortisol floods the system. The body reacts as if the memory is happening now, because the brain does not distinguish between memory and reality. So if the body can instantly relive trauma, why can it not instantly embody joy, gratitude, or strength when you decide to feed it these states? This is the hidden mechanism that people miss. Your biology is already tuned for immediate response. All that is missing is your conscious use of it. But wait, this is not the full answer. One more piece of the puzzle is missing. Without it, coherence collapses as quickly as it arises. The quantum field itself confirms this. At the subatomic level, particles react instantly to a change in observation. They do not delay. They do not postpone. When the observer's focus shifts, the wave collapses into a new state. The delay is not in the field. It is in us. In fluctuations, doubts, internal contradiction between the desired and the embodied, which keeps us in one cycle. Imagine planting a seed and digging it up every hour to check growth. This is what doubt does. The soil, the quantum field, is ready to sprout the seed immediately. But your intervention constantly resets the process. The mechanism of instantaneous shifts has always been here. What slows it down is the inability to remain in resonance long enough for it to stabilize, interrupting the pattern. Pause for a moment and notice your breath. Has it slowed while you were listening? Has attention been drawn inward? This is not accidental. This is the field responding in real time to your attention. By noticing, you have already disrupted the automatic rhythm of the nervous system. This disruption is an opening. In these seconds, you have stepped out of habit and into choice. That is how thin the veil is. One breath, one shift in awareness, one decision, and the entire machinery of identity begins to rewire. You do not need time. You need intensity of presence. The mistake of most is trying to think themselves into new states. They repeat words, write affirmations, but do not engage the body. Without emotion, words are empty. Without physiology, thought is just noise. The mechanism works only when thought, feeling, and body converge into one. This is why ancient practices like mantras, dances, or rituals were so powerful. They are not about words, they are about coherence. When a tribe danced around a fire, it did not waste time. It aligned as a single organism, collapsing a shared reality. Modern science measures this as heart-brain coherence. When the heart's electromagnetic field synchronizes with brain waves, the body becomes a transmitter, emitting a single frequency. This is when instantaneous shifts occur, and yet there is another layer. Because coherence alone is not enough. Think of a laser beam. It is powerful because the light is coherent. All photons vibrate in unison. But direction comes from focus. Without focus, coherence is just glow. This is the incomplete puzzle that most miss. They achieve fleeting moments of alignment, perhaps in meditation, perhaps in a sudden surge of gratitude, but without focus, the energy dissipates. The hidden mechanism requires both coherence and focus. Only when you fix awareness on the chosen reality and hold it without scattering, the field instantly bends to you. The real question is how to maintain focus when the mind is addicted to distractions. The structure of the technique itself will soon unfold here, but for now, understand. Your shifts are not delayed by external forces, karma, or fate. They are delayed by incoherence, scattered focus, belief in time as a prerequisite for changes. Remove this, and transformation is instantaneous. The hidden mechanism of instantaneous shifts is already working in you now. Every breath you take, every feeling, every observation, all that is missing is your conscious mastery, and this mastery is where we are heading next. You may have noticed by this point, thinking about transformation is not the same as becoming transformation. The mind can endlessly grasp concepts, but until the body encodes them, nothing changes. This is the quiet barrier keeping people trapped. They accumulate knowledge without embodiment. They read, listen, visualize, but do not vibrate differently. And vibration is not an abstract metaphor. It is a measurable reality. Every cell in the body emits electromagnetic signals. Every thought is accompanied by chemistry, every emotion by frequency. Science is clear. Your state is not a theory about who you are. It is what the body broadcasts in practice. This broadcast determines the reality you collapse. Living in the end is not a mental trick, but a state of being. When heart and brain enter coherence, the body begins to live as if the future has already arrived. In these moments, the nervous system no longer waits for external proof. It encodes the new reality inside. And here is the amazing part. The body does not argue. If convinced through emotion and presence, it does not distinguish between memory and imagination, future and past. This is not just philosophy. Neuroimaging studies confirm, when you vividly imagine practicing a skill, the same neural circuits activate as in real performance. The brain literally rewires through imagination. What you rehearse inside becomes what you embody outside, but embodiment goes deeper than neurons. The heart itself generates the body's largest electromagnetic field, extending up to 3 meters in all directions. When you sustain gratitude, joy, or love, the heart's rhythm becomes ordered, sending a coherent signal that synchronizes the brain. This state is called heart-brain coherence, and in it, the entire nervous system shifts. In other words, the body begins broadcasting a different frequency. If thought is the spark, emotion the current, physiology the transmitter, together they create vibrational encoding, the imprint of the chosen reality into your being. Without this encoding, desires remain abstract. With it, they become magnetic. Consider the radio station metaphor. You may have the most beautiful song recorded, but until you tune to the right frequency, you will not hear it. Likewise, the desired reality already exists as a signal in the quantum field. Embodiment is tuning the entire system to this frequency. Thinking about it is like holding the radio without turning the dial. Feeling deeply while the body is in stress is like static snippets of the song but not the melody. Only when thought, feeling, and physiology align, you finally tune clearly. This is why people sometimes experience miracles and spontaneous remissions, sudden breakthroughs, or instantaneous manifestations. They accidentally stumble upon perfect vibrational encoding. The secret is that this can be learned consciously. But here is another curious gap. Why, if the body is capable of such encoding, do most not sustain it? The answer is uncomfortable. They do not believe they are allowed. From childhood, we are conditioned to postpone joy, defer freedom, distrust ease. We are told that effort deserves reward, struggle builds value. So even achieving coherence for a moment, people unconsciously sabotage it because the nervous system is conditioned to equate safety with struggle. This conditioning is not just mental, it is biological. Cortisol patterns, neural wiring, muscle memory, all reinforce the belief that life must be hard. Breaking this requires more than thoughts. It requires recoding the vibration of ease directly into the body. Imagine a dancer. At first, he learns by thinking through every movement. Left foot here, right hand there, counting beats. It is mechanical, awkward, fragmented. But eventually something changes. The body takes over. The dance becomes easy, fluid, alive. This is embodiment. The dancer no longer thinks about the dance. He is the dance. Transformation works the same way. At first, you practice presence, gratitude, alignment as if they are foreign. But crossing the threshold into vibrational encoding, the practice disappears. You no longer try to feel differently. You are different. The state becomes baseline. This is the moment when reality bends instantly because you are no longer chasing alignment. You radiate it. This is why spiritual teachers have insisted for centuries. Become what you desire. This was never pretense. It was encoding. If you want abundance, you cannot think about abundance while vibrating fear. If you want love, you cannot talk about love while radiating self-rejection. The field does not respond to words. It responds to vibration. Your true prayer is the frequency you embody, not the phrases you repeat. This explains why some manifest effortlessly while others struggle despite trying. It is not about how hard you try. It is about how coherently you embody. Let us close one cycle and open another. The hidden mechanism of instantaneous shifts works through coherence, and vibrational encoding is how to stabilize it. But here is the puzzle. If coherence plus embodiment is the secret, why do not all live in constant miracles? Why do even dedicated practitioners return to stress, fear, or doubt? The missing piece is practice, but not in the sense of time. Practice in the sense of intensity. 1 second of full embodiment outweighs hours of scattered efforts. And there is an exact technique for accessing this intensity, a technique that collapses coherence, focus, and vibrational encoding into one act. That is where we are heading next. Everything we have uncovered points to one inevitable truth. Transformation does not take time, it takes alignment. But how to align at will? How to collapse coherence, focus, and embodiment into one act powerful enough to instantly shift reality? The answer is not complex. Its simplicity causes most to pass it by. The fastest transformation technique is not an hour-long ritual, not an endless list of affirmations. not lifelong discipline. It is a practice that fuses thought, emotion, and physiology into one field command. It begins with breath. Breath is the bridge between body and field. Inhale, an act of receiving. Exhale, an act of releasing. But most breathe mechanically, unaware that in the lungs lies a direct lever of transformation. Here is the technique. Take a conscious inhale into the heart, not the chest. Imagine the air entering directly into the space behind the sternum, filling the heart with energy. Hold for a moment, not in tension but in rest, as if the entire universe pauses with you. Then slowly exhale, evoking the exact feeling of the desired reality. Gratitude, peace, joy, freedom. Do not think the feeling. Let the body feel as if it has already happened. This breath, synchronized with emotion, becomes the ignition of coherence. Now the key step. While breathing and feeling, give the mind a target. Focus not on the absence of the desired, but on the frequency of its presence. If abundance, feel wealth flowing through your veins. If love, the warmth of connection in your skin. If freedom, expansion in your chest. This is not visualization in the usual sense. This is real-time vibrational encoding. Your breath orders the nervous system. Emotion charges the field. Focus collapses the wave into form. One such inhale is more powerful than 1,000 thoughts scattered by doubt. Science confirms the process. Studies from the HeartMath Institute show that when subjects maintain heart-focused breathing and positive emotion, their electromagnetic field becomes measurably coherent. This coherence not only stabilizes internal systems like hormones and brain waves, but radiates outward, interacting with the environment. In essence, the body becomes a laser of frequency, broadcasting into the quantum field. Paired with focused intention, the broadcast aligns with potential realities already existing as probabilities. The field does not resist, it responds. The shift is instantaneous because the field is timeless. You may wonder, is it really that simple? The incomplete puzzle here. Most do not repeat enough to stabilize the shift. They take one breath, feel a flash of alignment, then return to stress. But imagine doing this consciously 3 times a day. 3 conscious breaths, each a full embodiment of the chosen reality. Not hours, not years, just moments of total coherence. The nervous system will rewire. The field will lock in the new broadcast. Reality will begin to reshape around it. The technique is fast because speed is not a factor. The factor is intensity. Pattern interruption. Pause for a second. Place 3 conscious breaths, each a full embodiment of the chosen reality. Not hours, not years, just moments of total coherence. The nervous system will rewire. The field will lock in the new broadcast. Reality will begin to reshape around it. The technique is fast because speed is not a factor. The factor is intensity. Pattern interruption. Pause for a second. Place your hand on your heart. Inhale deeply, as if the air is entering this space. And exhale with gratitude, as if what you awaited has already come. Did you feel the difference? This shift you just created is the very technique we are talking about. You did not have to wait years. You did not have to struggle. You only had to choose coherence, focus, and embodiment in one act. Now imagine sustaining this choice daily. What will your life become in 6 months, a year? The field responds faster than you expect, but waits for stabilization of your signal. This is why ancient mystics were right in saying that prayer is not words, but state. Living in the end is the secret. This is what they teach. Elevated emotion plus coherent intention equals manifestation. They were pointing to one technique. Breathe, feel, focus, embody. Simple enough to dismiss, powerful enough to change reality. The only barrier is willingness to practice not with effort, but with presence. And here I invite you to anchor this practice. Right now, write, declare, announce in the comments below. I breathe my future into the now. This simple phrase aligns action with intention, and by typing, you amplify the embodiment of the technique itself. Do not leave it as theory. Declare, feel, and begin collapsing timelines with your breath. The door is open, the path is clear. Transformation is not in the future, it is in the moment you decide to embody it. And with every conscious breath you hold the power to rewrite life. But there is one more layer. Knowing the technique is one thing, living inside it is another. Knowing the technique is one thing, living in it is another. Most treat such practices as isolated rituals, a morning matter quickly forgotten by noon, remembered when life becomes unbearable. But the quantum shortcut is not meant to be a ritual. It is meant to become the default operating system of life. Breathing, coherence, embodiment, not temporary tools. These are states of being to return to until they become you. The difference between those who try transformation once and those who live it daily is not luck. It is continuity. Think of how a river carves stone. One drop of water seems insignificant, but repeated drops, a constant flow carves entire canyons. The technique works the same way. One breath opens the door, but repeated breaths build a new landscape of life. Neuroscience explains through Hebb's law, neurons that fire together wire together. Every time you inhale into the heart and generate elevated emotion, you strengthen the coherence pathway. With repetition, this pathway becomes dominant, replacing stress, doubt, or fear. Spiritual traditions describe the same process as building faith. What science calls neuroplasticity, mystics have always called devotion. But here, the quantum shortcut reveals true power. It accelerates time. Living in coherence, events rearrange around you at a speed that defies logic. Opportunities arise from nowhere. People cross your path at the perfect moment. Decisions that seemed impossible unfold easily. The logical mind dismisses as coincidences, but the quantum model explains as resonance. Your vibrational encoding broadcasts into the field, and the field reshapes matter to match it. Living in the shortcut means no longer chasing results linearly. It means magnetizing them non-linearly. You may recall moments when everything aligned in one day. Met the right person, received unexpected news, felt clarity. These moments are not random. They are brief episodes of coherence where inner and outer synchronized. The tragedy is that most dismiss as rare luck instead of realizing these are glimpses of the natural state. The shortcut is not about creating these moments. It is about normalizing them. Imagine waking every morning not wondering if life will work, but knowing reality bends to your state. Problems dissolve not because you push them away, but because the frequency you live in no longer supports them. This is the quantum shortcut. Collapsing effort into alignment. Pattern interruption. Notice how the mind tries to rationalize. Perhaps part of you says, "But life cannot be that easy." This voice is the echo of conditioning. The shortcut seems impossible to those who built identity around struggle. Yet physics shows, struggle is not law, it is choice. An electron does not struggle jumping to a higher orbit when energy is added. It simply jumps. The body does not struggle healing a cut, it simply closes the wound. Ease is the law of life, difficulty the exception we learn to worship. The shortcut is return to natural flow. To live this way, practice not only breathing, but vigilance of awareness. The world will try to pull back into stress, fear, distractions. Each time the temptation to revert to the old reality. But the shortcut remains available, as close as the next breath. The question is not whether it works. It always works. The question is whether you will remember to choose. Forgetting, you return to the long road. Remembering, you enter the shortcut anew. Life becomes a dance of remembering again and again, until remembering becomes default. Here is the shift from doing to being. At first you do the technique. You breathe, feel, focus. But eventually doing disappears. You wake already in coherence. You enter rooms, and people feel a presence they cannot explain. You speak, and words carry weight not from content but from frequency. You stop waiting for external proof because you are the proof. Here, manifestation stops feeling like manifestation. It feels like reality naturally responding to who you are. There is one final curious cycle. If the shortcut is so powerful, why do not all live this way? Because the mind is addicted to complexity. People do not trust simplicity. They want 10 steps, 20 rules, lifelong efforts because complexity justifies delay. The shortcut shatters the illusion. It says, one breath, one focus, one embodiment. Now simplicity scares because it removes excuses. Knowing transformation can be instantaneous. You can no longer blame time. You cannot hide behind waiting. You must choose. And choice is power, disguised as responsibility. Living in the quantum shortcut is not about perfection. It is about persistence, about choosing again and again until choice becomes easy. The field does not require flawless coherence. It responds to direction. Every alignment choice sends a new signal, and reality responds. Over time, the cumulative effect is staggering. In a year, you will look back and barely recognize yourself. Not because you slowly climbed the mountain, but because you found the hidden door and walked straight through. And now we are at the threshold of the final revelation. Because beyond the speed of transformation lies something greater. A way to step beyond time altogether. Not just to live faster, but to live timelessly. That is where we are heading next. And understanding this, the idea of waiting for anything will dissolve completely. The promise of speed is seductive. Everyone wants results faster. Transformation now. Manifestations without delay. But speed still belongs to time. It measures itself in minutes, days, years. To truly enter the quantum nature of reality, you must step beyond speed altogether. Enter timelessness, because in the quantum field there is no clock, no waiting room, no linear path. There is only the eternal present, the infinite now. And embodying this, life stops being a race to the future. It becomes inhabiting a frequency where the future is already accomplished. Think of flow states. Athletes describe moments on the field where time slows. Artists, creating for hours without noticing seconds. In these states, time does not accelerate or decelerate. It disappears. Neuroscience shows, in flow, the brain shifts to altered states of consciousness, reducing activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the mind obsessed with measuring time and controlling outcomes. The result, you exit the prison of linearity into the field of possibilities. Spirituality calls this presence. Science, temporary reduction in frontal brain activity. Both point to one truth. Timelessness is the true power. Living in timelessness, the very desire transforms. Instead of desiring something to come, you live as if it is already here. Instead of striving, you radiate. Instead of waiting, you allow. This shift is subtle but revolutionary because the field does not distinguish memory, present, and future. It responds to the state you embody now. Collapsing into timelessness, you stop reinforcing the vibration of waiting and begin broadcasting the vibration of presence. And reality, obedient as always, mirrors back. Consider light. For a photon, a particle of light, there is no time. It leaves a star billions of years ago and reaches the eye as if no time has passed. The photon exists in eternal now. You are made of the same field, under the same laws. Belief in delay is a mental construct, not a universal truth. To become timeless is to realize your nature as light traveling without time, collapsing realities instantly, embodying what is instead of waiting for arrival. Pattern interruption. Feel this moment now. If you stop counting minutes, forget the day of the week, what remains? Only this breath, only this sensation, only this now. This is timelessness, and within it, everything that seemed distant collapses into reach. Your dreams are not far. They are hidden by the veil of linear thinking. Remove the veil, and they are here. Right here. This is why ancient teachings emphasized presence above all. Power is never in tomorrow. It is always in now. Imagining the end truly collapses delay. Living in the feeling of the future now rewires brain and body instantly. Consciousness chooses reality in the present moment of observation doesn't. Mystics and scientists converge on one truth. Timelessness is the seat of creation. Living beyond speed is liberation. It means no longer measuring progress in hours or comparing to others' timelines. No longer postponing joy until conditions align. You live as if everything is already complete. And paradoxically, then completion manifests in form. Others will call it luck, fate, even magic. But you will know, it is simply timeless coherence radiating through you. And here your journey continues beyond this text. Because what is absorbed here is not just a technique. It is a door to an entirely new way of being. Time will pass anyway, but who you become in the now determines what this time brings into form. Do not chase speed. Step into timelessness. Because doing so, life stops being waiting for transformation and becomes the living embodiment of transformation itself. And living in this state, miracles are no longer miracles. They are simply the natural rhythm of who you are.